Hi, this is Mary Kay with Backbone Valley Nursery in Marble Falls, Texas, and welcome to this week's episode of Ask the Experts. This week we're going to talk about one of my favorites, houseplants. We have had so many people come in and they're just very eager to get this one certain houseplant. It's become so popular. It's in all the magazines. All the decorators are using it. No wonder why. It's a gorgeous plant. The Fiddleleaf Fig. The large glossy leaves, dark green leaves. Such a bold statement when you walk into a room and this plant is sitting there. So we need to learn how to take care of this plant. Looking at a little bit of its history, where it comes from. It's a West African plant. It grows in the lowland tropical rainforests. It has an interesting way of growing there. It can grow as what we call a Banyan Ficus, which means it can start as an epiphyte. It starts growing in the top of a tree. It sends down the long roots like the banyan roots and roots into the ground, eventually just enveloping the tree that it started growing on. Well, fortunately for us, it can also grow in pots too, and it does grow on the ground in the rainforest as well. So if you find a nice healthy plant like one of these beautiful little fiddly figs, you'll want to know how to take care of it. Bright light, location, location, location. With all houseplants that's the case, but with little finicky ones like this, if you've ever had one of its cousins, which is the weeping fig, the Ficus benjamina, you probably notice when you move it from one room to another, it drops its leaves. Well, this one may have that happen too. So the first thing you want to do is find the best location for it in your house. My experience has been an east window is the best in central Texas. You can make it work in a south or west window, especially if you have trees outside that provide dappled sun coming in, but never in direct sun in a south or west window. The other thing you want to take into consideration is where are the AC vents. Never ever have an AC or heat vent blowing on your ficus. That's pretty much true for all houseplants. You're going to have trouble. They grow in tropical rainforests. They do like a little bit higher humidity. So any way that you can increase the humidity around them. A grouping of plants is extremely good for that reason. You can group them. They do produce their own moisture, and it helps to humidify your house as well. Also produce oxygen for you, which is really great. So once you found the ideal place with good light, no extraneous drafts on them, we need to know how to water them. As I've said in some of our other episodes, houseplants do better if you double pot. Leave them in a plastic pot, set them down in your ceramic pot, so when it's time to water, you just lift them up in the plastic pot, take them outside to a sink, to a bathtub, water thoroughly, very, very thoroughly. No softened water. So if you're trying to water them in the house with softened water, you're going to lose them. Rainwater is fine if you do rainwater collection, well water, city water. No softened water. Take them outside, soak them over and over and over again. Let that water drain thoroughly. If you ever see bubbles come up or out the drain holes, you're not done. You're displacing large air pockets of dry soil. Let them drain completely. Then you can bring them back and put them in your pretty ceramic pot. Never, ever let them sit in water. If they reabsorb that, you'll have rotting roots. They do have just a few problems. Well, another thing about the watering, if you want to transplant it, it must be very root bound for you to transplant it. You will have a very large tree and a very small pot. That's why I recommend setting that pot down in this ceramic pot so it won't fall over. If you transplant it, don't go more than 4 inches larger at one time. You'll kill it. They don't have a very aggressive root system, and they tend to like to be pretty tight in the pots. You can keep a half strength fertilizer from March through November, and I would probably fertilize it every other time that you water. We let the soil approach dryness. What does that mean? Well, we don't let it get bone dry. If you let it get bone dry, the edges of the leaves will turn brown and they'll fall off. So let it approach dryness. That means about halfway, 2/3 the way down. Then we take it outside and thoroughly drench it. So I've had people call me and say my ficus, my Fiddleleaf Fig, which is Ficus lyrata, lyrata is for lyre or fiddle, violin, has leaves turning brown. What have I done? Well, if you let it go too dry, the edges of the leaves will turn brown. That's a no-brainer. It will recover from that. If you have watered it too often, or ever let it sit in water, it's possible it will get a disease called anthracnose, which is a fungal disease. You can remove those leaves so no spores are produced to reinfect other leaves, and try to do a little better on your watering, and you should be able to get a hold of it. We do have some chemicals that we can use to try and treat this, but it's better to avoid the conditions that are going to cause it in the first place. So that is how we take care of the ficus tree. Watering is you know, you lift the pot, see how heavy it is. When it's half as heavy as it was after you watered it, it's probably about time to take it outside and give it a good drenching. Next, if you go to our website and look at our events coming up, you might see a day that I will be performing a demonstration of air layering on this tree. Sometimes they do get kind of tall and leggy, and there's a way for us to produce roots on the stem as they're still attached and grow a new plant from it. So check out our website, backbonevalley.nursery.com, for upcoming events on houseplants. This is Mary Kay with Backbone Valley Nursery. Thanks for watching.